Hello, I am Miss Kola Freedom, and thank you for coming to watch my video. And welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. Subscribe, please. Thank you. All right. So today we get to talk about something I've been seeing on these relationship little podcast things. The question was, have men, and this is in the black community. I think it's everywhere. I don't think it's just black people, because I live in the South, and I think it's everywhere. But the conversation was brought upon by black people. So the question is, have men made women independent? Like, are their actions or their what's the word? Their choices forced women to be independent and not dependent on them, their income, their support, their protection, all the things that men, quote unquote, provide women. And I'm going to say yes. Now listen to me. I'm not blaming anything on anyone. I'm just saying that I believe this is how it ended up happening. I was born in 1981. Okay. Around the crack era, where a lot of parents, especially parents of my hue, were addicted to crack and cocaine, and they were no longer just smoking broccoli. They were getting into the white powder and rocks of some sort, right? So the men, whether they went to war and came back messed up, or whether they lost their jobs because they were doing a lot of closing down of plants, and they were choosing to take these plants and manufacturer companies and shipping them over to China and Mexico. I mean, my mom we used to sew clothes in a factory. They took that business and they took it to Mexico because that was, cheaper labor. So I guess, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of plants shut down. They, moved out of the United States. So people of my hue, my complexion, were doing those type of jobs. White people too, because I'm from the South. So everybody that was poor, technically, were working in these plants, able to support their family some way, were out of jobs. So they, got depressed and they started using drugs and stuff like that, right? So my parents ended up doing this, okay? After I was born, not after I was born. I'm not a crack baby. I'm not saying anything bad with y'all. Y'all was born in circumstances that y'all couldn't control, but I was not born like that. My mother didn't use anything. Well, my mother didn't do anything because I made her sick to even think about it. So it was me. I did it. I made her not do it. But anyway, so those are the choices that a lot of parents made. A lot of dads just left because they couldn't deal with the stress and not being able to support, if they couldn't look at their wives in the eyes, couldn't look their kids in the eyes and be like, I don't know what to do. I don't have any type of training. I can't go to school. I have no money. I have no education. I have nothing. I don't know what to do. So I might as well leave, because me being here is more of a burden to y'all than me being gone, which wasn't true. Two brains, two bodies working together is better than one, clearly. But that's not how it worked. That's not how it ended up being. My parents were together. My mother worked. My father had a bunch of jobs. He worked a lot of jobs. He did a lot of jobs. But my father was addicted still. And my mom low-key was too. I don't think she was addicted. I think she was just following the situation that my father was in. So I think she just was going with what he was doing. Anyway, my father told me, never depend on a man. You cannot depend on men. Don't look for a man to do anything for you. His words, not mine. If a man does something for you, he wants something. And instead of him teaching me on how to be that woman that gets what she wants and not gives out her cookie constantly to a man, but able to pull what she want, I guess they didn't think I was attractive enough because I was a fluffy girl. And that was his scam. He was like, oh, just keep her fat. Nobody will want her. That's what made everybody want me at even like 12. I was thick and these grown ass men was looking at me. But I digress. Anyway, so my father instilled in me, never depend on a man. You cannot depend on a man. Do not think that you can ever depend on a man. He drilled that in my mind. So in my case, a man, and I never saw any reason not to believe him because my mama couldn't depend on him. Because he would work, but he would spend his money on drugs. He would like deplete our funds. He's still going to work. His check gone. He pulled her check. My mom had to make sure that the rent and the rent and everything came straight out her account. So it wasn't there for him to try to take. So we had to. That's the only way we was able to even keep a roof over our head. It was nights. It was days. It was a few, times that the lights was off and we had gas, and that's the only way we could, with the oven and stuff, we cook and everything like that. But there was no lights. It was trying times, and because the depression of this man, my father, and the things that he did forced me to say, he right. We can't depend on him. I'm for sure not going to be able to depend on no dude, because all dudes are going to be just like my dad. And I believe a lot of girls, especially if their daddy wasn't even in the house. My father was there. My father was always there. And I was taught I can't depend on a man. So imagine if a woman was raised with just her mama, no daddy around, she for sure know that there's no man that she can depend on. So what I'm saying is a lot of people were in the situations like me. White girls too. I know a lot of white girls that daddy was like alcoholics, hooked on drugs, left. I know a lot of women in general. I don't know about like immigrant people, but I know like in the South, black and white girls, that's all I knew. Our daddies were trash. And whether they was there or not, they was trash. So yeah, men forced women to be independent. Y'all, that's all I gotta say. It wasn't funny, but it was like information that I think people should know. Y'all have a good one. Bye.